And we should be live. Good evening or good night or good morning, good afternoon, depending on wherever the hell you are in this world. It is Friday night, September 22nd, and it's 8:02 p.m. And thank you for, well, at least on the East Coast it is, and thank you for tuning in. I see a lot of people in the chat already. Lisa, Vivian Johnson, Harjot, Brad Palmer, Gordon Freeman, Marie Palmer, David Clippert, Stephen Collins, Ben, Pinesol, Mark S., Sheena again, Sunjib. I'm forgetting if I've already read these. Billy T asking, can you guys see my chat? Yes, we can. Wesley's here. Gordon's here. Pinesol, Chris Mills, David Clippert. Yeah. All right. Jelly Bean says, I have many questions. Thanks for tuning in. I just felt like doing a live stream from home tonight. I thought about going out. I went out and I recorded a pre-recorded video. But I just kind of wanted to have the Jays on in the background, who have runners on first and second, tie game versus Tampa Bay in the top of the sixth. I just wanted to kind of hang out and chill. So the theme of this one is AMA, Ask Me Anything, as long as it's within reason. I don't have to answer your question. I can pretend I didn't see it, but usually I'll answer it. And while we're doing that, I'll play some videos in the background. So let's get that started. First, I'll turn off my desktop just in case I accidentally share with you something I would regret. And now for some reason, we're going to check the weather out. It's 17 degrees right now. Chris Mill says bases loaded. Ball 4 outside. Now it's bases loaded. You are definitely ahead of me. David Clippert says, Johnny Carson, Johnny Gift of Speech, good evening, is back. Gift of Babbling Nonsense might be back. Luis Moran says, good evening, go Jays. Yes, good evening, go Jays. So let's get this video in the background started. This is just a bunch of random rides I've recorded before and after e-bike and e-scooter videos over the last several weeks. Eva says, what was your most memorable date? Well, date could be, it could just mean a day on the calendar, right? We're getting things kicked off with kind of a juicy start. Most memorable date. Probably my first ever one when I went to the Rivoli. I was underage. I was served alcohol, which was awesome. And the person I was with told me if I finished my pad thai with chopsticks in like 15 minutes that she would pay. And guess what? I'd never used chopsticks in my life, and I ate that damn bowl. So I guess that would be it. I don't know. Let's get a drink in me. Unfortunately, on my way home, I ordered an Alouette burger for pickup, and I'm like, I'll just swing through the Metro, pick up some bananas, and I'll go to the LCBO and get some beer. I'm long out of beer. Yeah, you get the idea. And it was like the most colossally long lineup I'd ever seen at that LCBO. There was 2 people working the counter, and it was lined up from the front all the way back to the freezer. I don't know. They're generally pretty good there. Maybe someone just called in sick or multiple people called in sick, but it kind of sucked. So we're going to have the age-old combination of gin and Pepsi. Who doesn't like a good gin and Pepsi? Lisa says I need to try burger drops. I have no idea what burger drops are. 3-1 count. Bases loaded to Kirk. So let's have some gin. It's like a pretty healthy pour of that, I think. Billy T says mad chopsticks chops. Ooh, full count on Kirk. Someone's going to spoil what happens. Marge says 2-1. Guys, let's I don't know it's 2-1 yet. But I'm guessing Kirk walks this one in here. Lisa says I'm burning my stomach. Yeah, and tomorrow night is Nui Blush in the city. Devin says that sounds terrible. Gin and Pepsi. It's actually quite good. And by quite good, I mean like I don't have any juice to mix with this. I don't have any tonic. So gin and Diet Pepsi. Deborah Ball says I have to give up caffeine. Goodbye Pepsi. You can buy caffeine-free Pepsi. Nigel says Scotch and Coke is nice. I ran out of my nice Scotch on my last Sunday night Stumble stream. Let's get a quick poll going. Let's see how many Blue Jay fans out there are also distracting themselves. Are you watching the Jays? Chris Mill says anything with gin is insane. Ooh, I don't know. Gin's not the kind of drink you just have on the rocks, is it? I don't know. Jeanette Morales is here. Hello, Jeanette. And cheers to everyone. Jennifer Gallo says Nui Blush is tomorrow. That's awesome. Yeah, last year, Nui Blush fell on the same night as Oktoberfest. I remember going to the big Oktoberfest event and then drunkenly going to Nui Blush after that. They're separated this year, which is cool. And I'm going to go tomorrow night, but I don't know if I'm going to be filming. I'm hanging out with people. I might bring my camera and do like a 45-minute video around the main like downtown area. But Nui Blush is this like all-night art festival. It starts at 7 and it runs till 7, and it's all over the city. So go to their website, check it out if you want to see if it's near you. But yeah, Lisa says, and their map is broken. I'm just going to be around like the main Yonge to Nathan Phillips Square area. I've got to be in that area anyways, so that's where I'm going to be. David Clippert says, I did see 3 Stellar Jays by the cedar tree in the yard today, but they are birds. And Lisa says, I'm going to do early AM hours instead of night to avoid the idiots. Yeah, it's kind of a... If you go at like 8 p.m., it's going to be like kind of a clusterfuck, to be honest. But that's when I'm going to be there. Marcus says, hey, Johnny, I ran into you the other night near Sugar Beach recording a video for my channel, Neighborhood Walks TO. It was great meeting you. Nice to meet you as well, Marcus. I'm thinking on a Sunday night on the Stumble stream, if I do that, we'll take a peek at your channel. But it was nice meeting you. I see you had the GoPro locked in. Which GoPro are you using, by the way? I think I'm thinking about buying an Action 4, actually. I think I'm going to pass.
Where am I supposed to go, you fucking idiot? That's
by the way,
sidewalk.
I did put AMA
That's
in the title, so you're free to ask away if you want. We've had one juicy question so far.
Am I supposed
Mark
to
S.
run you
says,
over?
anyone see Expendables 4? Not me. Lisa says, you enjoy a good clusterfuck? No? Well, it's good for recording, right? Like, when I record events like street festivals and stuff, it's not so much about the event or the festival as it is like the atmosphere and like the pedestrian experience of walking around. And like, so the more people out, the better for me. I think it's better. Awesome. Thanks so much. You look forward to checking it out. You're welcome. 3-1 Jays. They are just gifting Jays runs here. Awesome. 24% of you are watching, 65% of you are not, and 11% of you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Chris Mill says Tampa Bay is falling apart. Well, Tampa Bay has clinched a playoff spot, so hopefully they're just kind of getting ready for playoff mode. Naughty Brown says, who uses air dryers? Johnny language? I don't know. You're using the GoPro Hero Black 10 with the media mod. Yeah, I saw that media mod. It's good because you've got the windscreen over the mic, which makes a huge difference. Salazar 26. Hello, Johnny. You're having an IPA. Well, thank you very much for the $2.79, Salazar. I'm having a Diet Pepsi and gin. William asks how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling good. I spent a fuck ton of money. Can I say that? I can say that. It's my channel. A fuck ton of money today. I spent... Whew, more than I wanted to.
Hello, Johnny. I'm having an IPA.
Steven says, why were you being a fair pig about people entering TTC stations? Good question. I wasn't. I just simply said there's some people evading fares, and I kind of had a little chuckle, and that was it. I didn't condone it. I didn't call them out. It happened right in front of me. That's all it is. You can make of that, of what you... I think I even like kind of... If you listen to it, my tone wasn't like scolding them. I was just like, there goes some people walking. So if you interpret that as like, it's one of those, it is what it is thing. It happened right in front of me. It's like when a driver runs a stop sign in front of me and I'm like, oh, there's an idiot who can't drive. Like, I'm just commenting on what's happening. So if you think that I was calling them out or trying to be a narc, then you are very much mistaken. I literally, you know me, if you watch my videos, I don't set out to like do that sort of thing. I just say what I see, and that's it. That's all that was. And of course, that a whole bunch of toxic fucking morons started making comments. And then what did happen was one of the people who was in that video reached out and asked, like, hey man, I know I'm on your video. I would appreciate it if you could blur me. And I went, and I could do that, but it's so much work. And I was like, whatever. I just made the video private. I might go back into the YouTube tools and like blur him out. But frankly, I'm lazy. It only had like 2,000-3,000 views anyways. So yeah, that's why that video is down. It's currently in limbo. Fair pig is me in a nutshell, says Pied Soul. But yeah, I think there's a lot of fare evasion right now, but there's also like a cost of living crisis going on. It's just like the perfect storm for that type of thing. But yeah, that's all that was. Simon says, Johnny, will you explore Lansdowne and DuPont area one day? Also the area where the former Galleria Mall at Dufferin and DuPont. I've done both of those areas on live streams. I am meaning to do a DuPont walk, probably from Dundas West Station up to DuPont and then over to Dufferin and then down to Dufferin Station. I think that's a really neat stretch of DuPont. I haven't yet covered in a walking video. Pardon my French for burping there. So yeah, I think I will be doing that. But I've covered both of those areas on multiple live streams, but I couldn't tell you. When Gordon Freeman says what happens in public is public. Yeah, I mean, if shit happens in front of me and it's on the camera, that's all it is. Mr. Hippo says, but you're in public. I don't know. Amagan Set Press doesn't do that when I have no idea what you're saying. David says, Johnny, sometimes I miss Charlie's adoring eyes on your home streams. I lived with Charlie for like a few months last year. Devin says you don't need to blur people out if you don't want to on film. Very true, Devin, but if somebody asks me nicely, like, hey, I was in your video, can you conceal me? If they're being like friendly about it, I will conceal them. I've always had that policy. If they're being a dick about it, no, fuck you. I'll leave you in the video. But yeah, that's just my policy on that. Like, you know, you're in public. Yes, technically you're going to be on hundreds of cameras wherever you go all the time. That's fine. But if you just say, hey man, you know, I'd rather you conceal me. I saw your camera. I'd be like, cool, done. It's not a big deal. I've done that maybe 3 or 4 times over well over 1,000 videos. Bill Chow says the TTC has a huge loophole and that people can easily walk into the fair paid zone. Yeah, they do. It is what it is. Just reading. Pine Soul lives in Bloordale. Such an interesting part. It is. Johnny, would you dump 10 ice buckets on your head for $10K? For $10,000? Yes. For 10,000 doll hairs? No. It depends. 10,000 what? For an extra 10,000 subscribers? No. Lisa says it's a safety issue too. You're good to be flexible. Yeah, I mean, it's really just if people request it, I'm happy to oblige as long as they're nice about it. Don't be a dick. If you're a dick, I'll be a dick and not do it. Are you also watching the Jays? 23% of you said yes. What did you study in university? There's a question. I took a BA, but I studied mainly economics and psychology, if that makes sense. I've become draconian about it since people now go out of their way to get my attention, then tell me you aren't allowed to film. Yeah, when people draw attention to themselves, like, dude, you're in public, you're drawing attention to yourself. If you saw a camera and you didn't want to be on it, you think you would, like, turn your back and walk away. You wouldn't confront the person with the camera. David says about cameras in downtown Bellingham, there are police cameras here and there, but they are not the friendly streamer type. Maybe people are subconsciously thinking of that and forget you're no threat. Maybe. What's up, Midnight Express? I'm trying not to miss any chats here. Wing Zero says Johnny studied theoretical physics. Jacqueline says, what year did you graduate? Are the Jays... Oh, Tampa Bay's up. I didn't even notice that the inning ended. How many runs did they get? I think I graduated in 2003. Oh, 4-1 Jays. Sweet. Pretty sure it's 2003. Jellybean says, what do you think I studied at Ryerson? I think you studied YouTuber fandom. Was that that sounds like a course they would have at Ryerson, right? Good old Rye High. I have no idea, Jellybean. Something... Journalism? I think that... I'm going to say journalism just because it's a program I know they had. Brandon says, one huge question to make everyone happy. Who is better, Messi or Ronaldo? I'm going to go with the little guy, Messi. I don't know. I really don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Maple Dub says, just make sure when you edit your videos, knock a few pounds off people and they'll be happy.
Thinking 1, 2.
Onyx says,
1, 2.
Who's your favorite YouTuber? There's a few. I really like Wendover Productions. I really like Snazzy Labs. Those are a couple channels I watch. I get a kick out of Zero Enigma. Like, I watch every one of that guy's videos. 200 Japanese yen. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Did I say it right? Thank you so much for the 200 Japanese yen name in Japanese. Rayama Kanata, I believe. I think that's what it says. Thank you. Noni says, when's your next trip to and where? You know, I was in playing around with Google Flights last night. It's not looking good. Things are very expensive. I was punching in anywhere for November. I don't know. It's looking very expensive. I'll get back to you on that. But yeah, I'm open to anything. Pat says, how did you get so good with tech? I wouldn't say I'm so good with it, but I've always been kind of a gadget head, a bit of someone who liked to play with toys. Speaking of which, I just bought a new expensive one today. Pat1967 says, oh, that's you. Louise says, do you love what you do? I love not having someone to be accountable for. I love just waking up and saying, you don't have to do shit this afternoon. I love being my own boss. I love walking. I love city exploring. So yeah, I do. And I really like the community. There's a lot of what I do that is still work, and there's no getting around it. Like, work is work. Don't say I like that, but it is what it is. Johnny, do a poll to decide. Johnny, do you play any musical instruments? No. I'm hoping I'm not missing any questions. I was checking out flights out of Porter, and it was an experience, says Lisa. Boxman says, what's your favorite color? Some kind of blue. Pretty much all shades of blue, I would say. Johnny, should we do a poll to decide who is better? I don't know, Brandon Lopes. Brandon Lopes. You're heading to the Azores around then. You should go. Less than 800 round trip. Thank you, Pine Soul, for the tip. Gar Saxon says, why does Via Rail suck so bad? Hey, the new rolling stock came into town, I think, today, actually. Or it will be very soon. So I think Via is getting a whole lot better. But really, it sucks because years and years of government neglect and catering to the automobile instead of building out a proper rail network. Maple Dub says Johnny in Vegas would be amazing. Yeah, you'd hear me like moaning and complaining about how god-awful it is to walk the strip. But, okay, let me put a poll. What did I buy today? I bought something that was pretty expensive. I'm going to try to make not the last one, this one that I'm thinking of now, because the one I'm thinking of now is obviously bullshit. Okay, I put up a poll. You're going to guess I bought one of these items today. Let's see which one you think I bought. And hopefully I didn't miss any Any chats? Jennifer Gallo says you're checking out flights in December for Seoul and the prices are way too expensive. But the hotels are cheap. Yeah, it's a bit cold in December in Seoul. You're welcome, Lewis? Lewis or Louise? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Mike says bring a small business owner. Being a small business owner is the best. Lisa says a 7th scooter. I'm looking at 2 scooters right now, actually. Come by my shop for a drink on the house. Go Dutch Bikes on Eglinton. Also consider a flight to Caraco. Very cheap flights in November. Bass de Beer. You've got, you sell Dutch bikes on did I read an article about your store once on how you're importing them? I think that's pretty awesome if that's you. Wing Zero says if you're a member of Baby Metal or in their entourage, thanks for supporting Johnny Strides, and I was at the Baby Metal concert. All right. Jennifer Gala is not participating in the poll. William asks, did I hear about Doug Ford? You mean our corrupt piece of shit premier who still won't step down? Yes, I heard all about it. But I guess if the prime minister's not stepping down, he's not going to step down. You should take an all-inclusive to Cuba. Pretty cheap if you go soon. Yeah, I've done Cuba. I don't like the internet there. It's pretty slow, but awesome beaches. Cool vibe. Jennifer says, I bought 2 of these items on the poll last week. Sorry if I miss any questions, guys. So what did I buy today? 43% say an iPhone 15 Pro. 25% say a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. 22% say I bought a 65-inch Samsung OLED TV. And only 9% of you say an Xbox Series X as I glance over at my PS5 and the shiny new toy next to it, or not. Upstate New York Bob is here. Hello, Upstate New York Bob. Sorry I missed you when you were in the city. I saw you were on Henry's channel. Boxman asking the real questions. In your opinion, what is the greatest TV show of all time? 3 words. 3 words, Boxman. 3 words. Married with Children. That show could not exist in this climate today. It was so far both ahead of its time and now buried in the past that I think people would like protest any TV station even trying to like bring it back or anything along those lines. But as a kid, that was the show I looked forward to seeing the most. That was the show that I had to ask my parents if I could watch. And they would be like, yeah, but I don't know if we're supposed to be letting you watch this. Like, that was the greatest show of all time, in my humble opinion. And if you're offended by that, I liked it. Gertej hopes 3D TVs come back. I think anything like that, anything that involved, like, it's too much effort. Everyone needs to have a pair of glasses, right? All the glasses aren't interchangeable from one brand of TV to another. It's just not doable on a mass scale. It's cool, but until the technology can be built into the TV itself, like the Nintendo 3DS, I don't think we're going to see it. Jennifer Gala, and 3D goes in cycles, right? Like, remember in the 80s, you'd go see Jaws in 3D in the theaters with the red and blue glasses. Like, it kind of goes in waves. So I think we're going to see a reemergence of 3D at some point, but not anytime soon, probably. Jennifer Gala says Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld. I think Curb Your Enthusiasm is also up there, but Married to Children is the absolute best. Best ever. Mr. Hippo says The Office. I hope you're talking about the UK Office and not the American Office, which was still good, but not as good. Jeanette says that was a funny sitcom. Gordon Freeman says Simpsons. Chris Mills voting here. I'm Ashes of the Past, Burgers of the Future. I'm trying to catch up, see if I missed any questions here. Actually, watching 3D movies in VR is superb. It is, Jennifer Gala. I've still got my Oculus. Did you watch Doctor Who? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Onyx says Seinfeld is probably the best. Someone said 24. Johnny, would you go to Antarctica for 50 hours for 500K? Assuming that's money, yes. 500K, why wouldn't I do that? Like, the real question is like 50K. If you make that 50K, now I'm thinking about it. 500K, I'm absolutely doing it. I'll buy like a $2,000 sleeping bag that would keep me like warmer than anything. And I would just hunker down and stay in that sleeping bag, have some Slim Jims, you know, a whole bunch of like, I don't know, whatever type of fluid I could bring that's not going to freeze. And I would spend 50 hours there. That's it. Maybe I'd live stream it. Mike says, Three's Company, your first childhood sitcom. William says, Johnny, what's your favorite TV show or TV series? I believe I already answered that. But currently, I've gotten back. I'm going to say currently, I'm going to say the TV show Dave with Little Dicky. There we go. There's an excellent, that every single episode just has me like rolling around in tears. Jonathan says, thoughts on the India situation. I think if it's true, if the allegations are true, I think there shouldn't just be heavy sanctions. There should be, but like, I don't know. I think it's terrible. I think, yeah, basically having foreign agents arrange the death of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil should be cause for worldwide alarm. But as we've seen with like the Saudis, that type of shit happens and there's no consequences. Pine Soul says 500K VND. Would you rather eat a computer mouse or a real mouse for $1 million? Onyx Monkey Drops. I'd eat the real mouse. I think at least I'm not going to get sick if I eat the real mouse, providing it's not like rotting. But oh man, you guys are bombarding me with questions. Johnny, do you collect anything? No, I don't really. You can cruise to Antarctica. You could buy a Rolls Royce Cullinan for 500K. Frasier, will you watch the reboot? I don't think it had David Hyde Pierce's in it though, right? I don't know. I'll probably give it a peek. I liked Frasier. My parents really liked Frasier. Sapan recently watched a show called The Office. Yeah, cool show. Skywalker says the Blue Jays are winning. Mark S says Knight Rider. I remember watching Knight Rider. Or Night Boat. There's always a canal or a fjord. Chris Mills says Mr. In-Between is great. Mr. In-Between was effing fantastic. Great Australian show. Yes, definitely. I'm currently, I think, riding east on Danforth into the sun here. Mr. In-Between. Watch it. Marge says you do collect scooters. I have currently 6 scooters in my apartment right now. They're all inside. One of them is brand new in a box, never opened. A long story behind it. PGH says you collect e-bikes and scooters. That's true. Robert says Frasier is okay. Naughty says, who was your first relationship? I'm not going to out or dox anyone, but I was 16 and I went to a high school and this person went to another high school. I don't think relationships before that count. They just don't. Like a grade 7 holding hands thing is not a relationship, so we'll go with that. Peinsel says, great sunny bike ride. Jonathan says, Survivor. Don't really watch Survivor. I used to. Gordon says, we all have a price. Nobody's integrity is infinite. True. All right. Let's end the poll here. You'll find out sooner or later the answer to this poll. But what did I buy today? iPhone 15 Pro. 46% of you think I bought an iPhone 15 Pro. 24% of you think I bought a Galaxy S23 Ultra, being a Samsung fanboy. Some of you think I bought a 65-inch OLED TV. Maybe that's what I'm looking at right now. I would definitely go OLED over micro LED, by the way. And only 8% of you think I bought an Xbox Series X, the cheapest and most likely thing I would buy in that list. Robert says Entourage was a heck of a show. It was pretty good. Noni says, what's the best shoe for walking? Have you ever looked into a brand called ON? I haven't. You're going to have to come back to me later with that question because I'm in the process of transitioning to minimalist shoes. I'm just using like a cheap Amazon pair, but I'm going to buy a pair from Vivo or Zero. Whenever I put on my other shoes now, it just feels wrong. The shoes I'm wearing now are zero drop, so the heel and the toe are at the same height, and they have a nice wide toe box. So like it's actually like shaped like my foot. and I'm not walking like striking my heel into the ground anymore. Like I'm actually walking naturally, like nature intended. Like I'm still in the transition process. I'll get back to you, but I'm definitely converting to this minimalist shoe thing. I think they're the best for me. Nigel says, were there queues? What was the experience like? You're at the iPhone since Gen 1. I don't know, Nigel. I don't know. Honestly, I did not go to an Apple store today. I can tell you that. Ryzen says, what do you think about the iPhone 15? I think it's shit that it's got USB 2.0 transfer speeds. I think if you're going to go iPhone 15, I think just the Pro or Pro Max are like, for someone like me, are so much better. But they shouldn't be. They should have built at least USB 3 speeds into the regular iPhone. But USB-C is really the only thing to give a fuck about on the new iPhones. But it's a very big thing about them. I mean, cameras are slightly better, but still probably not better than the Pixel or the Galaxy Ultra S23. Slightly better video, though, so there's that. I don't know. I think it's not anything special. Mike says, Growing Pains and its characters were like your family. There was an excellent show. Jellybean says, did you hire someone from Fiverr to stand in line for you? No, I didn't. Gertej says, oh yes, Zelensky is in Toronto. Someone told me about that. I just didn't even bother because I'm pretty sure I would never see him. Just reading your comment, Wing Zero. Chris Mill says Tampa Bay appears to be waking up. Yeah, I think they just put a few on the board there. Sanjib says, you're getting a new 14 Pro in 1 year. You need to pre-order now. You mean 16 Pro in 1 year, Sanjib. You wouldn't want to get a 14 Pro in 1 year from now. Hello, Brian. Are you going to do a Nui Blush walk? I'm 50-50 on it, Mosh Jarkus. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be taking it in. But sometimes I like to go to things and not document them and just be one of the people experiencing it. So that's the goal for tomorrow. And I kind of want to go get drunk after. Lisa says they're at Fort York tonight for a public appearance. I bet there's going to be insane security there. And I wonder what Zelensky is going to think of all the people telling off Trudeau. Marge says, are you going to sell all your excess equipment? Sell, maybe. Maybe sell at a very big discount. I hate selling things online. I hate haggling. I hate kicking tires. I hate people wasting your time. I once had one guy come. I was selling something. And they showed up and they were like trying to hand me $100 less than what we agreed to because they're like, I'm here, just give it to me. And I literally told them to go fuck themselves. I'm not going to sell this to you. We had a price. We agreed to it. The item is exactly as it was described. And they're like, okay, I'll give you full price. I was like, no. Like, I'm an asshole like that. I hate haggling. The price is the price. Period. Like, I just put a nice low price on there. I say, that's it. Price is firm. Either you're taking it or you're not. No bullshit. So don't agree to the price and then come here and try to pick it up and then lower the price. If like something were defective or deficient, I get that. Like, oh, okay, you made a good point. I'll lower the price. Or if I feel sympathetic to you for whatever reason, okay. But no, like, I just hate doing that. Someone says Zelensky just had a massive 35 vehicle motorcycle. Oh. Trying to read your comments. My little rant there. Recommendations on the Nui Blush walk route. The Laughing Man. I would say go to the website and just try to follow the map yourself. I have no idea because we don't know what the exhibits are going to be, but probably the big, most commercially interesting ones are going to be down by Nathan Phillips Square, probably. Beinsel says marketplace people are insane. Yeah, the whole Craigslist, Kijiji, Facebook marketplace thing is like, it's not for me. It's not for me. And I'm the type of person that, like, I don't lowball people either. Like, when I reach out, when I want something, I'm like, that's the price you posted. Okay. Right? Like, I just hate The whole haggling thing. Wally says, speaking of gin, have your bartender made you a gin Rickey? All right, I'll have to keep that in mind. Toronto 4, Tampa Bay 2, bottom of 7, 2-0. I think the good news is, aren't the Mariners playing the Rangers today? So no matter what, the Jays aren't falling behind one team regardless. And if they win, then they're going to pull ahead at least of one team, but still be tied with the other. Chris Mills has met some interesting folks through market. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I've had some really good experiences too, where people show up and they're like, cool, man, this is what you said it was. Here's the money. All right, cool, bye. And like, if they do an e-transfer, they'll hang around and wait for it to be confirmed. Like, I've had a lot of cool experiences, but I just hate the haggling. I hate the lowballing. Like, when I get emails from people, if I'm selling like a phone that I know will go for $600, when I get those emails that say like 300 ? I don't even like answer it. It's like, no. But people always try that. 9 out of 10 emails are like insultingly low prices. Mary McKenzie says the Scarborough Town Center will be open at night for Nui Blush displays. That is neat. That is neat. Onyx will give me $5 for my Shure mic. You know what? If I ever like upgraded this, I would do that. I kind of cheaped out on this mic. I got the MV7, and I've noticed so many, even like professional podcasters are using this mic. It's like, get the SMB7. Don't get the MV7. This is what like us cheap bastards get. It's like 90% as good, but it's not professional grade. Pine Sol, that's a funny story. Yes, Bill Chow, that was my logic. Gertaj asking, how is Charlie? Charlie is good. Wing Zero says, our special forces are well funded, but everything else is kind of a joke. If Zelensky comes to Ottawa, what's he going to ask for? Our Air Force is pathetically underfunded at the moment. We've got a bunch of F-35s on order, but until they come in line, like, sorry, USA, we're not pulling our weight with the whole NATO thing. We used to have a formidable, not NATO, NORAD. We used to have a pretty well-equipped Air Force, but not now. Just a bunch of old planes constantly being taken off out of service. So yeah. Rise and Nav says Scarborough tomorrow has a lot of events going on, including Nui Blush. Yeah, if you're out in that side of town, no need to come downtown, right? Just stay in Scarborough. Check it out. Make a video. Show us. We are, a few months ago, I think about a month and a half ago, I did a video riding south down Yonge Street in the ebike, all the way from Yonge and Steeles down to the lake. This is my ride going north up to the part where I started recording that. So that's what you're watching. You think I might have just taken the e-bike onto the subway and cheated and went up that way, but no, I actually rode up there. Also, people ask if you will change for another item. You hate that? Marketplace is the best. Kijiji is full of tire kickers. Virage sale is a winner, says Chris Mills. Nigel says perhaps put no offers or time wasters. Maybe, but you're still going to get those super low ballers. Gordon says, why can't Canada make their own planes? Bombardier, we made the C-Series. We also used to make fighter planes. It's so expensive. I don't think Canada is big enough to be producing our own. But the new Airbus, is it the 200 series that are just rebranded Bombardier C-Series? We made a very kick-ass commercial plane quite recently. But Airbus has the supply chain to support it, right? And the better name. So airlines are way more likely to buy it as an Airbus than as a Bombardier. Alejandro says, which e-bike is this? This is the Move-In Pulse, which I need to get out and ride again. Mary says Scarborough also has the Line 3 Memorial. Go through the cars before they are gone forever. Special guest. I was invited to something along those lines, Mary. I think I have sorry, if you've sent me an email or a Patreon, I am so backed up on those. But someone sent me like an invite to some Scarborough thing. I don't know if it's open to the public or if it was like a behind closed doors thing. I'll take another look. William says one day you shall have a Johnny Strides hat, maybe. Onyx says, do you have a dream car? No, I don't. Because I live in an apartment and we don't have charging, my dream car would just be something stupid like the Kia Soul. Like, I can go to IKEA and fill it up with shit, but I can also like drive really far and gas isn't going to set me back too much. But it's small enough to drive in the city and like park. Call me practical, but I'm not getting like a Z06 or anything crazy like that. That is very true, Lisa. I agree with you on that. Mark S. is watching the stream on his PS5. Jonathan says, did you watch Question Period yet? No, I didn't. Navalcos says there was the Avro Arrow. There was. The Ottawa Wanderer says a new TikToker X hacked into your YouTube video like WMD hacking Johnny. Do you not have 2FA enabled? Lisa, like even if I typed my email address that I use to log into YouTube, which nobody knows actually, it's not johnnystrides@gmail.com. That is not the email address connected to my YouTube account. But if I gave you that, and if I gave you my password, you still couldn't get in because I have two-factor authentication enabled. So not only does nobody know the email address on this, but I have 2FA enabled, which I think is very critical. So I would look into enabling that. You can at the very least, you'd get a pop-up on your phone saying, are you trying to log into YouTube right now? And then it would give you a bunch of numbers. And if that's you, you type in the number or you check it off, I think, on your web browser and it lets you in. So if anyone's trying to hack into you, it would alert you to that as well. It's very important. Never leave yourself logged in to anyone else's device and always use 2FA on your important accounts. Dave S says two-factor authentication. There you go. That's the answer. It's amazing how many like phishing emails I get, or how many times people try to like hack into johnnystrides@gmail.com, thinking if they get access to that, they like somehow get access to all my YouTube accounts, and they probably want to change my AdSense and like steal the payment. I don't know what they would do with that, but it's like, no, that is not linked to this YouTube account. No, it is not. I have never shared that email address with anyone, nor will I ever. Chris Mills bought a ebike recently. I don't even know what that is. Pinesel says 2FA is a nightmare when you're traveling without your SIM. That can be annoying. I've had times where I've been overseas and I've had to pop my original SIM card in and enable roaming just so I can get like a code sent to me. Use like the Google Authenticator app, but even then the Google Authenticator app is a nightmare because what if you like lose your device and then you've got like backup codes somewhere. 2FA is a pain in the ass, but it's so much better than nothing. As Jeanette says, we were saying the same thing. Novell Cost says, I can't tell if that's a Coke or Pepsi. It's a Pepsi Zero. Nigel says, do you find Google to be a good partner to you? Regularly collect royalties, helpline, etc. Google is fine. Google is borderline great. They pay on the 21st of every month, like clockwork. That goes right into my bank account. They have like a live chat that I can like reach out to. Once you get to over 100,000 subscribers, I think you even get like an actual contact, like a person you can reach out to. I don't have that. But yeah, there's like a chat support right there. I can like talk to a real human at Google if I want to. Jonathan says, thoughts on biking 4-lane roads? Well, I'm biking a 6-lane road here for this stretch. I have no problem with it. I generally stick to the right. Most drivers are pretty good. Just be careful. If you're not comfortable doing it, don't do it. But I have no issues doing it. I feel fine. I feel just as safe here as I do in the bike lane, as weird as that might sound. What's the weather like in Toronto during November? You'd like to visit eventually. The weather in November is all over the place. It might be like wear a hoodie and jeans, or it might be like get out the parka or the Canada Goose. It is all over the place in November. Yeah, just unfortunately, you're not going to be able to pack for. You're not going to be wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but you might get. It might be like 15, 16 degrees some days. You might get away with not wearing your coat. Brian says, have you heard that bylaw officers will be patrolling the city on bicycles this fall? I did, Brian. I read that on Reddit. I think that's pretty neat. It would be even better if they were on e-scooters, ironically, which are technically not authorized to be in public in Toronto. I just think they're better to like hop off of and like write a ticket, but I think that makes sense. I think, yeah, cops should be on bikes. Traffic cops should be in cars, but having cops on bikes, having bylaw officers on bikes really puts them in the community. I think that's better. Chris Mills says, as someone who works in that world, 2FA should be mandatory in your life. But I don't use 2FA for a lot of things I don't really care about. Like if my credit card isn't hooked up to an account, or if I just don't give a shit, I just use the same password for everything. And if I do forget my password, I go into Google Chrome, I go into settings, I go into password, and I look up that website, and sure enough, Google Chrome will be like, yo, here's your password, and that'll work. Very nice, providing some info on 2FA. If you're curious what that means, it means two-factor authentication. So username and password is not enough. Sometimes it'll be a text message. Sometimes it'll be an email. Sometimes certain apps will give you a pop-up, like the Yahoo app will give you a pop-up, or YouTube will do that. Sometimes it'll be through an authenticator app like Authy or Google Authenticator. Like right now, what do I have in Authenticator? I have Instagram in Authenticator, so it just gives you a random 6-digit code. And I have Newton Crypto, which I don't even have anything with, is in Authenticator right now. Are you coming back to Ottawa soon? I don't know, Lisa, unfortunately. I don't have any plans for it. Chris Mills says get a good password manager. There's some advice. I just use Google Chrome. It remembers everything. William says, Johnny, I like your voice and your smile. Thank you, William. Lisa uses Dashlane. There's something a lot of YouTubers were pimping a long time ago. But man, we have so many passwords and so many logins. Like, I don't know. I literally, like, I'm not going to tell you, but I have like a thing I use for my passwords. So if I don't know what my password is, I will be able to guess it very soon. Chicken or beef for shawarma, says Jonathan Franzen. Generally chicken. I usually, with that type of thing, like usually I don't get shawarmas, I get like pitas, like a gyro, but usually I go with pork. I just find pork is the best in a wrap. But if I'm getting shawarma, and those are my choices, I'll go chicken. Definitely more of a pork eater, though. I hope that's not an innuendo for something. My friend the other day was pissed off that Google doesn't have the password for Gmail. Will going the Green Pea app and 100% removing parking meters work? Ooh, safe at first. I don't know. I remember back in the day, we used to get credit cards and we wouldn't activate the credit cards, but they would work at the parking meters. Do you guys remember this? Back when we were pieces of shit gaming the system in like the 2000s. Me and my friends, we all had like an unactivated credit card because the systems weren't online. So it would look like a credit card. It would take your number, the expiry date, and it would just bill you at the end of the billing cycle when the systems went online. But if you used an unactivated card, it would give you your parking ticket. But of course, you never activated it, so you can't get charged. So a lot of people used to do that. Me and my friends, we all did that when we parked downtown. We called it like a parking card. So sometimes it'd be like, does anyone have a parking card on them? And they worked at Green Pea Lots. They also worked on the street in parking meters as well. AI has the potential for guessing passwords. Pretty scary. A password can be guessed, but generally there's lockouts, right? Like if you guess 5 times in a row incorrectly, it'll put like a 30-minute freeze on it. The real worry is when we get to the point where like Bitcoin keys can be guessed. Like they're literally impossible. Like all the computers in the whole world working their hardest all at once could not guess someone's Bitcoin key in like a million years. But we're going to get to the point where like it's like that's easily done, right? So now Tampa Bay's up. It feels every time I look over something's different. Naughty Brown says brilliant. The Velcos says that was such a good idea. What are you drinking tonight? We are drinking Boodle's gin as I wait at an intersection in North York. It's 8:53. I think this video is like an hour and a half long. I'm going to have some more gin. Oh, there's a little bit of Pepsi left over. What should I have with the gin? Should we have mixed with gin? Should we have Pepsi Zero, bubbly, I'm not actually going to do the last one, but if you vote for it, good for you. Marquez says Zellers is coming back. Isn't there a Zellers at Scarborough Town Center? Rocky Rambo says ginger. Lisa says you're a bit of a mess, but it's fantastic. Thanks. Maybe I put a little too much gin in that first one. Word of the day, gin and juice. I don't have juice. Lisa says bubbly for sure. But there's already going to be a little bit of Pepsi aftertaste. See how the water's kind of brown? As we go north up towards Young and Finch. Yum, the fresh taste straight from the bowl, says Minizine. Rain Eyes says 0. Alexa, remind me, poll in 2 minutes. Chris Mills says make sure to add some ice. No, I can't use my ice. My ice is gross. I don't know how old it is. I need to clean out my ice trays. You like whiskey or rum, says William. I prefer whiskey. Good evening to you, Sweet Pea 63. Marquez says yes in Bramalea City Center. I don't know what that's in reference to, but we are at 250 viewers right now. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Lisa says gummies may or may not be blurring your vision. I should get into some gummies tonight. In fact, I'm going to get into gummies tomorrow night. It's been a long time since I've done that. Jimmy says, good evening, Johnny making strides. How long have you lived at Yonge and Eglinton? Finally, we're back in the questions. Since 2014, I've been in this apartment. I was at Bathurst and St. Clair before that. But I got pretty lucky finding this apartment, and thanks to rent control, it's been quite affordable. And I realize, like, I'm super fortunate to be where I am right now. Les Mess says, hello, I'm having trouble with this question. Can you answer it for me? Which country is better, Canada or Japan? If you live in one country, you are disqualified from any such question asking you which country is better, one you've lived in or live in versus another. I'm just simply... It's a different experience. I've been to Japan almost a dozen times, not quite. I love it. If someone said, I'm traveling, I've never been to either, where should I go? I'd be like, have you ever been to an Asian country before? I would ask a bunch of questions, but ultimately I would say, get your ass to Japan. Japan is awesome. So if I had to answer your question, I'm going to say Japan. Joey says you're brave to ride your bike. On Toronto streets, I drive and deal with stupid drivers. I can't imagine riding a bike. Well, it's just something you get used to, I guess. The Laughing Man says, any plans to become a homeowner? Sadly, no. Alexa, shut the hell up. 32% of you said Pepsi Zero. 47% of you said bubbly. 23% of you said toilet water. All right, guys, hold the questions for a moment. I'm going to go get some bubbly to go with this gin and Pepsi. What's left of the Pepsi. I will be back, though. I will be back. Fortunately, tomorrow's video is uploaded and done. So after this, I don't have to do shit. It's 4-2 Jays, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, runners on first and second, and we're getting a pitching change. Awesome. I'll be back. Just one sec, guys. 101 likes, toilet water, and good evening, everyone. Good evening, Matt Bros. All right, sports fans, we are back. We've got a bubbly sparkling water. This is a blackberry bubbly. So we're going to dump this into the gin. Nigel says, find a streamer from other provinces other than Ontario and Quebec and ask them to show you the Mounties. All right. Will this be better than the Diet Pepsi and gin? Let's find out. Jellybean says, what is tomorrow's video? Well, tomorrow's video is a night walk. It's a nightlife walk. I will, as soon as this stream is done, I will set tomorrow's video to premiere. How's that? Let's do another poll. This is a very weird poll. What kind of toothpaste do you think I use? Okay, now I have to fill in not the last answer. One of you. There we go. I'm not asking you what kind of toothpaste do you use, because this stream is not about you. It's about me. I'm asking you which type of toothpaste do you think I use. I might be drunk. Which country's government do you like more, Poland or Hungary? I'm going to say Poland because they funded Energylandia, which looks like such an amazing fucking theme park full of awesome roller coasters. So it might be the stupidest logic or reasoning ever, but I'm going to say Poland for that pure reason. YouTube Music says, I used to live at Yonge and Empress and just saw my neighborhood. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. All right, let's... Someone said Sensodyne. I should have put Sensodyne in the thing. Let's go with... or let's try this bubbly and gin. Vivian Johnson says, did they make a 2-in-1? You already talked about what toothpaste I use, says Novell Koss. Jellybean says, Dollarama sells Crest. Trouble in Jay's Land. Base is loaded. Romano on the hill. Oh, no. Don't spoil it, guys. Don't spoil the J game. I know what you're getting is in front of me. Marquez says, what your fave brand shirt? I like unbranded stuff. But quality-wise, I think Uniqlo is like definitely better than H&M. between those kinds of fast fashion brands. There we go. Pump in that strike. Brad Palmer says cheers. I use Nutella as toothpaste. No, I don't have ice. I've got a tube of the toothpaste right here, though. Dollarama sells all sorts of decent toothpaste. They do, Minizine. They sell all the big brands. Probably get, yeah, you can get, like, Listerine there as well. Like, Dollarama, between, like, Amazon and Dollarama, I can honestly get by. Vivian says, how's the drink? It's not bad. It's not as good as the Diet Pepsi. All right, bases loaded, 4-2-0-2 count. Under Armour is the best brand. Under Armour, that's a shoe brand, isn't it? This says no ice is Savage. Dollar Tree is better than everything in the store is only $1.50. But Dollarama has like a better variety of name brand stuff, right? Remember a buck or two? What happened to a buck or two? They lost like the dollar store wars. Come on, Romano, strike him out. Why do you keep your toothpaste on your desk? I brought it to my desk purely for this poll. 20% of you say Colgate Optic White. 34% of you say Crest 3D White. 19% of you say Aquafresh. What am I, a child? And 28% of you say Arm & Hammer Whitening, a staple of Dollarama. Chapman gets the out. And the Jays survive unscathed. Marquez says Gillette. Vivian Johnson says probably would have been better with lime bubbly. Probably. All right, Sapan, have a good night. Where are we going now? Oh, we're still going north up Yonge Street. I had to go all the way north of Steeles. Julie says entertainment purposes. That is it. All right, Alexa, remind me. End the poll in 1 minute. Alejandra never goes to Uniqlo in Mexico. You did it last Saturday here. You think it's better than H&M? It's H&M, I think, mimics like what's trendy more often. Like they'll copy what's ever fashionable. Uniqlo is a bit more basic and plain. But as I get older, I kind of appreciate that a bit more. Uniqlo is also clearly better quality than H&M. Like t-shirts there just last way longer. H&M stuff will start fraying. They'll start get that like pilling or piling on it where it starts, I don't know. Bill Chow can't vote. You use Sensodyne. You've used sensitive teeth. Newfie says Dollar Tree does returns if an item breaks. But if you buy an item from the dollar store, you know the deal going into that. Are you really returning something to the dollar store? Like, I would just feel like an asshole going into like a dollar store like, hey, this thing I bought for $1.50 doesn't work. Can I return it? I don't know. Bradley says a buck or two is still in Spruce Grove. Nigel says I don't think Optic White is available. You have Colgate Total. Optic White is like a step above Colgate Total, at least in terms of pricing. Mississauga Clarkson North Football is playing Erie, Pennsylvania Cathedral Prep tonight. Awesome. I went to a school very close to Clarkson, but Clarkson North. Wasn't it just Clarkson? The big rivalry was always like Clarkson versus Lauren Park back in the day. Chris Mills says that takes a lot of time management skills. Mike only uses Colgate. You tried Crest and got issues with a tooth after just 6 months, so you can recommend. So you recommend Colgate as the best brand. That's why people tuned in to a channel exploring Toronto to hear my thoughts on toothpaste. Hey, there we go. Was that Varsho? Did Dalton Varsho just jack a homer? You beautiful beast. 5-2 Jays. This is, I know a lot of people shit on Oakland Stadium, but this is the ugliest stadium in all of professional sports. It is an embarrassment, the Trop. I remember being like a kid. I think we were driving back from like Tampa Bay's like Busch Gardens to Kissimmee, where we were staying, and we drove by the Trop, and I was like, ooh, a futuristic dome. And my dad was like, they're trying to get a baseball team. And here we are, and they're still playing in that garbage dump of a stadium. Jonathan Franzen says, do a Trudeau impression. I'm completely out of touch with reality. I don't know. That's the best I can do. Pine Soul uses what's ever on sale for $1. Naughty Brown says, the best toothpaste is Euthymol. That sounds like euthanasia. I don't think I'd want to use that as a toothpaste. Jamie says, okay, go Jays. Mini Z, does anyone mix toothpaste ever? Theoretically, you might get the benefits of both pastes. I remember we were going through security in Japan with my friend, and he had a tube of like toothpaste with him, and it was more than 100 milliliters, and the girl was like, that's a liquid, you can't bring it. He's like, it's a paste. And she let him through. She bought his argument that it wasn't a liquid, that it was a paste. I will never forget that. He also had like an aerosol can of Rogaine that was like a huge can in his carry-on. And when we went through like the x-ray part, I swear to God, the guy in Narita Airport was literally doing this, not watching the screen as our bags went through. And his like Rogaine sailed right through the security check onto the plane. That was awesome. Anyways, it's time to reveal the answer to the greatest poll that has possibly been ever asked on a YouTube live stream. 24% Colgate Optic White, 33% Crest 3D. Whoever said Aquafresh and Arm & Hammer, you guys, way off. This is what I use. This is the toothpaste of champions. The Velcos says, all you need for a Trudeau impersonation is to say and multiple times per sentence. That's probably true. Men that care about their hair are awful people. Hey, some people just for men. I don't, but maybe when these, I'm 42. At some point, this shit's going to start turning gray, or at least part of it. Maybe I'll think about going down that line. Nigel says, do you think mouthwash and flossing is important? I will tell you, there's another video coming on. There we go. Another video is coming on. This is going to be going north. Hey, the Jays just got a hit. I will tell you, when I was in my 20s, I went to the dentist and got hit with like, I shit you not, like a dozen cavities. And my dentist was like, dude, you got to floss. So we fixed them all. I got like fillings in every single one. I floss before bed religiously. And I used to use Listerine. I've switched to a non-alcoholic mouthwash. I have not had a single cavity in like over 20 years since then. Not a single one. And all those fillings have held up. So I haven't had to have any fixed. So I'm sure at some point I'm going to start having those fillings fixed or replaced. It's just, they're just not going to last the rest of my life. But I am convinced that like flossing before bed makes all the difference in the world. Definitely do it. Jelly Bean says, yay, Harborfront. You said Harborfront, but you fixed it. Lisa says, I've never had any work done. Flossing is important. Yeah, I would think that flossing is more important than brushing, actually. Because it's like you're just shit between your teeth just sitting there and like rotting and decaying all night. There you go, Jolly Bean. Corrected that spelling. Stevie B says, Johnny, hello. Have you tried vegan gummies? No, I don't even know what that is. Clarkson North is beating Erie Cathedral Prep 27-13. Is Erie Cathedral Prep a good team? And where are they playing? Where is that game taking place? And how are you getting live score updates on like high school football? What are you, Al Bundy? Clarkson versus Erie Cathedral Prep. Is this on YouTube? Would you credit your good teeth habits to sugar intake too? You seem to like non-sugary drinks. I don't know, Minizine. I don't think I should be giving advice on, like, my teeth are not great, so I don't know, but probably reducing sugar has a lot to do with it. I still put a shit ton of sugar in, like, my coffee and tea. Mike says flossing makes a big difference. A dentist friend said it's so important to floss daily. Of course, brush and mouthwash important. Yeah. Here's a question that this might start a war. When do you brush? I'm curious. When do you guys brush? Are you like this is like saying, are you a morning shower person or like a before bed shower person? Like some people brush before breakfast, some people brush after, and I get both arguments. But what do you guys do? Which Toronto Downtown Museum is worse, the art one or the other one? The Art Gallery of Ontario or the ROM? I've not been to either recently to judge. Sorry about that. But outside, I kind of like the Art Gallery of Ontario a little bit better than the ROM. Maple Dub says you brush your teeth in a shower, but is that before or after you eat? How do you take your coffee? 2 sugar, 2 milk. Sometimes 3 sugar. I'm feeling like I need to wake up. Jelly Bean was at your dentist today with a bubble tea. Lisa going with the Frank Gehry design over the Michael Lee Chin crystal. Pinesel says before breakfast, I don't want to eat the overnight bacteria. But then that breakfast food is sitting in your teeth and in your mouth all the way until night. That's the other argument, right? I'm sure a dentist would be like, just do both. Wait 30 minutes after eating your breakfast and brush again. I'm sure that's what a dentist would say. Rain Eyes says sugary drinks can cause tooth decay and cavities and gout, a type of arthritis. Yuck. Lisa says not because you've had a photo. Oh yeah, you did have a photo there. Lisa, turn off, if your laptop is being hacked, just turn it off. Turn off Wi-Fi. Power down. Stevie B says you brush your teeth 7 times a day. That might be excessive. Let's see. 36% of you are before breakfast. 47% of you are after breakfast. They do say that whenever you eat or consume anything, you should wait 30 minutes and then brush your teeth. David says I take a big hit of hash oil and only then kill the bacteria while they are stoned. Mike says, as soon as you wake up, you brush your teeth as part of a morning routine. Since we've had enough votes rolling, I'll reveal what I do. I usually brush in the shower, and I usually shower after breakfast. But my breakfast is a smoothie, so I'm not usually chewing stuff, getting stuff between my teeth, or stuck between my teeth. But I like going through the day knowing that I'm not bringing my breakfast with me, so I brush after breakfast 9 times out of 10. Mini Zine just carries a pocket brush and brushes 85 times a day. Lisa says morning after breakfast, not 30 minutes. I don't have time for that. 3 times a day when I work from home weekends. I do it 2.5 times a day. If I ever feel like my mouth is gross, like you run your tongue around it and you're like, ugh, that doesn't feel right, especially the back of your teeth, I'll brush just to get rid of that feeling, but generally right before bed and sometime after breakfast. So let's end this poll as we go north up Yonge Street. Maple Dubs wakes and bakes first and then drinks a coffee and then showers. Golden showers? Just kidding. And then shower after and brush then. I like to brush in the shower, but utilities are included in my building, so I don't care if the water's running. I'm like the type of person that I will shower, I will wash, and then I will stand there in the shower for like 30 minutes, gradually making the water go hotter and hotter and hotter as I just stand there and do nothing. And it's like the best part of the day. It's the greatest thing in the world. Just standing in the shower getting hit by hot water. Like, does anything beat that? Really? Kathleen says, hello, Johnny and friends. Happy Friday night. Happy Friday night, Kathleen. Lisa says, after breakfast wins by a narrow margin. All right, that's the next question. Yes, I know there's days where we shower multiple times, but let's see what people say. When do you shower? Hey, the Jay's gonna run around third. The Patrick Bateman morning routine, says the laughing man. This is more of a Johnny Stumble stream than a Johnny Stride stream, it seems. Minnie Zine says, haha, great, now I want another shower. That was very descriptive, enticing. Are you a morning shower person or before bed? And yes, I know sometimes, some days, we just shower multiple times during the day. Maple Dub says, no golden showers. My fiance is watching this too, Johnny. Don't put me like that. Sorry, Maple Dubs. Maybe just golden shower your feet like most people. Lisa says, never at night. I refuse to go to bed with wet hair. Yeah, it's different. The Jays just put a run on the board. Thanks, Marge. Craziest homeless person you've ever encountered in Toronto? I've never personally encountered anyone that crazy. I've definitely seen people, but I don't know if they're homeless. Some people are just like not all there upstairs and need help and they don't get it. So I don't know. Okay, not homeless, but the craziest person I've ever encountered, I'm going to say Xanta. I sat next to Xanta on the subway once back in the heyday of Xanta. And he was like harassing all the other girls, I'm not a girl, but a lot of girls for wearing like dresses and skirts and telling them they shouldn't be like this or that. And I'm literally sitting next to the dude telling off just people trying to go about their day for what they're wearing. And like this is like a big fucking super strong, super fucked up in the head dude. And I couldn't bring myself to say anything. At first I was like, oh, Xanta, big fan, nice to meet you. And then he started saying all this like misogynistic shit. And I was like, oh my God, the rumors are true. Like, you are fucked up and an asshole. So I literally just sat with him from Bloor and Yonge. He got off around High Park. I went all the way to Kipling. I was actually on my way to Thailand. Like, I had my luggage with me. I was going to the Airport Express. But like the shit coming out of that guy's mouth was unbelievable. And up until that point, I like kind of looked up to him as like this Toronto icon. But like, holy fuck, he is nuts. But fortunately, even though he was saying really offensive shit to people, it gets to a point where when someone is so clearly crazy that people like take it in stride, they don't get offended by it. It's like, yeah. Like, you know, I think people are feeling sorry for him, who he was directing the comments at, rather than getting offended. I got that vibe. But I'm going to say, like, sitting next to him was just like, yeah, it was something else. Minnie Zine says all those girls with their pumped up skirts better run faster than Xanta. I don't know. That was a really weird experience because I was sitting right next to the dude the whole way, and he does that like blah, 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 like I don't know. He was a character. Jeanette showers before bed to relax your old lady muscles. Wing Zero says, who is Xanta? Just Google Xanta. What happened to him? Was it performative? I think it was mental illness with him. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Marge says, someone sent me a $20 super last year and asked me to give it to a homeless person in a tent community. The guy was really high. I think that was like 2 years ago. I remember doing that. And I went through with that. Hopefully that person got it. Jaycation just went live from Toronto. Jaycation is in Toronto. That guy's everywhere. I was just in Barcelona, and he did a bunch of videos from Barcelona. I did not know he was here. Toronto Live, first time.
Vegas with JJ in Vegas. I was wearing a Rough Rider.
Oh, he's at I know where he is right now. Cool. Novell Cost always showers before bed because you have less time in the morning and you love feeling clean. I read that as I love feeling clean when wetting the bed, not when getting in bed. Toronto 6, Tampa Bay 2. Romano on the hill, 2-1 count. This is a huge win. Every win is huge, but the Jays are going to gain one game on someone no matter what tonight. Minizine says Zanta fell like a distance off a ladder once. Yeah, apparently that was his downfall, that accident. He was like a painter or something like that. Maple Dub says it's coming to the 1-year anniversary that you and your fiance started watching my videos. Thank you. Cheers. Nigel says, do you use deodorant or antiperspirant or nothing? I am firmly in the antiperspirant camp, Nigel. I wear Irish Spring antiperspirant. Gordon says retire in 50 as possible. Not for me, unfortunately. Pauline says there was a full interview on Zanta in the Toronto Star a few years ago. He was a construction worker who fell and hit his head when he wasn't taking his meds. We saw the results. Yeah, that seems very much in line with my understanding. There's lots of YouTube videos on him as well. Word of the day says, what about the guy that says believe? He's a Toronto icon. Harmless. He's a really sweet guy. I've met him a few times. I've chatted with him. I've run into him on like the subway before. He's just a really, really nice guy. He always wears that orange Canada Goose jacket. I haven't seen him in a while, though. I haven't seen him in like a month. He's definitely one of those Toronto characters, though. Minizine says there's a whole graphic novel based off Santa. Not familiar with it. The Ottawa Wanderer says, I just can't see myself being on the scooter. Wing Zero, he used to do bare knuckle push-ups in the middle of the street, like just endlessly. He was pretty jacked back in his day. Marty says heading to my first Jays game in ages on the 30th, first time since the 1900s. Wow. It's been quite a while. You're going to a totally different stadium too. Lisa says he's still around. I think he lives in like Brampton or Etobicoke now. He's also been spotted riding a mobility scooter. So he's not quite the same as he used to be. Come on, Romano. Sit him down. Jellybean. $5. Jellybean. Love your Barbie avatar. Thank you, Jellybean, for the $5. Joanna, $2.79 for your retirement fund. Thank you. I'm definitely retiring faster with that $2.79. Thank you, Joanna. Oh man, we need I'm probably falling behind in the retirement race. But thank you, Jellybean, so much for the $5. Thank you, Joanna, for the $2.79. Chatty Cathy says, if I ask Google how tall is Zanta, will Google know? Hey Google, how tall is Zanta? I said Zanta, not Santa, you stupid. David Zanakine is his name, right? He was born, David Zankai, born 1968, is a street entertainer. This does not have his years active, 2000 to 2008. Yeah, he came back. He made some
For your retirement fund, money bag, old man.
Jays win. The Blue Jays win. There we go. They're hanging on to their wild card playoff spot. Stevie B says Zanta is 5'11". I think 5'11" is the most perfect height ever for a human. I'm not just saying that because I am 5'11", but it's genuinely the best height anyone can be. The Laughing Man says I triggered his Google Nest. He looked like a WWE wrestler. He did, Jonathan. Too bad he's Looney Tunes, because he could have worked in like a professional wrestling. I think so. I don't know. Hey, tomorrow Bellator has an event. Johnny Eblin versus Leon Edwards. Very big middleweight clash there from the B League of MMA. I'm going to try to watch it. It's being held, I believe it's in Dublin. But Johnny Eblin, probably the best middleweight MMA mixed martial artist in the world. But he's not in the UFC, but he would definitely be the best if he were in the UFC. Maybe Yaroslav Amosov, you could say that about. Maybe some other Bellator, but they're the exceptions. Zach Donks is nice. Go Jays go. What music system do you favor? You're a Sonos fan. Music system. I listen to YouTube music with like my AirPods Pros. Does that count? Marvin Hymanson. Johnny, we are taking Amtrak to Toronto, then via to Winnipeg. Can you recommend any restaurants on the healthy side in either place? I should... A healthy-ish restaurant in Toronto. That is... Thank you so much for the $4.99. I hope you have an awesome, awesome trip. I hope you get a window seat. That's going to be amazing.
Johnny, we are taking Amtrak to Toronto, then via to Winnipeg. Can you recommend any restaurants on healthy side in either place?
I'm trying to think. Guys, help me out. How can we... Who can suggest a good healthy restaurant for Marvin in Toronto? Like, I'm assuming that's like not fried food or bullshit like that. Because most of the restaurants I want or I like are going to be along those lines. Come on, let's crowdsource this question, because off the top of my head, like when I want healthy, I have like a poke bowl, and there's like a few places around here, but that's not like a destination, right? You're not going to want to go get a poke bowl or something like that. Grotege doing a picture of a salad. Healthy doesn't necessarily mean salad. Pine Soul says Planta. There you go. Look up Planta. Who else has some recs for a healthy restaurant? Here's another question. Do you ever rewatch your own videos? I'm going to guess shorts, since it's not as time consuming. You know what, Minizine? I don't. I do not rewatch my videos. The only ones I rewatch are like the hotel reviews. They like when I'm in the mood to look up traveling, or sometimes I like watch other hotel reviews and then I watch mine and compare them. Like I watched all the Stumbles hotel. I have a hotel review on the Johnny Stumbles channel of the Amethyst Hotel that's up to 11,000 views, and I'm kicking myself for not putting that on the main channel. Gordon Freeman says Bukchangdong. Oh, Bukchangdong, the green sign Korean restaurant. Naughty Brown says McDonald's. Yes, let's go to McDonald's. Mike misses Swiss Chalet. Swiss Chalet, not on the healthy side, though. That's a Cara chain restaurant. Speaking of, 60% of you shower in the morning. That is me. 33% of you are weirdos who shower before bed. And 7% of you don't shower. All right, I have to go to the little boy's room, but I'll be back as Dalton Varsho gets interviewed by Hazel May. Robert says Jaycation just gave a shout out to Johnny Strides. What? What are you talking about? How long is he here for? Jaycation. Okay, we're going to pause this video for a sec here. Let me... Oh, man. I am not in the right frame of mind for doing this.
Yeah. That's the thing with the university, is that like it's got like the big buildings, because this is, you know, where all the corporate stuff is, and it's got some schmancy restaurants and hotels. Let's see.
Got it.
Christian Ramirez says Oktoberfest video was great. I've never been. Well, thanks for watching. That was great. Yeah, go watch my Oktoberfest video. Carlos says pretty good Portuguese off St. Clair. Oh, I love Portuguese food.
All right, I said, hey, Jaycation.
Oh, we have all the heavy hitters here tonight. Paul Martinez is in the house.
Copyright me for this.
Thanks for coming out last night as well. Thank you.
Paul Martinez says should perform for Jaycation. I told him he needs to play some Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
He's I think he's San Diego
Feliciano
based.
says welcome to Canada. Thank you.
I think he's San Diego based.
Larry says blue water seafood in San Diego is very good. It really is. Jaycation, do you know a guy named Action Kid? Who is that? Never heard of a...
Hey, he skipped my comment. He skipped my comment. Boo! I left you a...
Pizzeria Libretto. It's good?
Thank you, Robert. Robert says, hello,
Dude, my
Johnny
back
Strides.
is
Dutchman
smacking
says,
me right now because of this guy. No, it's fine, dude. Thanks, man.
who's this goober helping him out, ignoring my comment?
Carrying this brick of a...
Hey, there's some classic Toronto driving. Someone just backing up.
So how far down are we going here?
All right.
I was thinking maybe like Front Street. I mean, we could walk wherever.
Yeah.
Maybe we could go down Front Street and turn left. You can see in front of Union Station. That's kind of nice too.
They should go...
Yep. It's not that far at all. It's just over there.
They should go to King West. Claudia M says you got to super chat him. I don't know. I'm not going to super... This is someone else's stream.
Homie. Yeah, shout out to Ken. He might even be quietly watching. He's in Miami. Tony MTZ is asking, past 75, what's the best pizza in Toronto?
Well, that place that we just passed actually apparently is really good.
Libretto?
But I mean, once again, right, there's so many restaurants in Toronto.
Okay. We're going to go back to this live stream. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Spam him. He's busy talking to Pat75. They ignored my comment. No, I'm nobody. Okay, I'll be back. Sorry, guys, I'm back. Yeah, guys, when you're live streaming, it's really effing hard to read everything and try to, like, stay on top of it. Like, Jaycation, he seems like a really, really good dude. I know he's good friends with Action Kid. I was just playing around when I was like, he missed my comment. He's, welcome to Toronto. I'm sure it wasn't intentional. I'm still probably going to reach out to him. Mini Zine says, flying past Mount Pleasant. Flying past indeed. What's the best public park in this area as far as relaxing? In this area? I would say go to Eglinton Park up on the hill. Oriole Park is cool. June Rollins Park. Those are really the only parks coming off the top of my head, though, in terms of a place where you'd go to relax. Robert says, while I was gone, he said my comment. Oops. Nigel says, I think you'd like Sonos, Johnny. Give the pods a rest. Sonos One, fairly inexpensive and a built-in voice control. I would get the new Sony in earbuds if I ever replace the AirPods Pros. I think that's where I would go. George says, good evening, Johnny and friends. Good evening, George. Jellybean says, what should I make for dinner? You can go to the Johnny Stumbles channel and see what I had for dinner recently, a factor meal. That video is doing pretty well, actually. I'm a little bit surprised. That video has over 1,000 views of me eating like a microwave meal. Maybe I should do some more stuff like that. I think there's going to be an uptick in Johnny Stumbles videos in a while. Janelle York says, "Hi Johnny, sorry I'm late. You went for a 2-hour walk." You are always excused for being late if you went for a walk. Hello, Janelle. When's the last time you got carded? Earlier this year at an LCBO. Pinesel says, "Humber River is good. Salmon jumping season is near." Sounds like a flippin' good time. All right, Jeanette, good night. Have a great weekend to you as well. Have a good night, Jeanette. Bring back the cooking videos, says Noni. I did 2. 3 if you include the smoothie. 4 if you include the heating. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll fire up the new toy I bought to record some of them. Raja says, "Hi Johnny, sorry to join so late." What's up with the late joiners here? You guys really... I'm just kidding. And we're at... All right. Salmon jump into your belly. George, here's my late fee, 50 Mexican pesos. Thank you. Cheers to that. Cheers to that, George. Thank you very much for the Mexican pesos. By the way, late fees are optional. Sonos are speakers, Johnny Strides, not in-ear or headphones. I've got an LG soundbar that has a really good subwoofer. Soundbar is just pretty good. Claudia says, "How's the microwave, Johnny?" I was watching the Jays. The microwave is filthy. It's very filthy. Roger says, "Nice bike. Finally great to see you on the motorbike." On the e-bike. I love your chili con. Yeah, maybe I'll do a chili slow cooker video. I don't know. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're back to the beginning. I'm all out of video material for tonight. Which means I'm basically like out of stuff. I've got some other videos. Novell Cost says, "Oh yeah, it's an AMA. I have one. Do you have a fetish? If yes, how many metro systems have you ridden? If no, would you ever intentionally eat an insect?" Do you have a fetish? No. How many metro systems have you ridden? I want to say 3 dozen. If no, would you ever intentionally eat an insect? Yes, I have. I ate a giant spider in Cambodia once. Claudia says, "But you'll clean it before your birthday." Why would... Microwaves aren't meant to be cleaned. They're like an archive of all the food you have ever eaten that is splattered on them. Ray Nye says, "That is an amazing backdrop. Thank you. I hand painted it myself." All right, guys. I think we're going to bring this one to an end. Microwave a bowl of water and cut up some lemons and sponge it out. Jelly beans, so practical, so practical. I think we're going to call this a stream. So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. EST, I am going to premiere a video. Then hopefully have some more content up for Sunday and every day at 9 a.m. But I'll reveal what my big purchase was in a future video, possibly for Sunday. Thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know, HL. What is the new toy? I don't know. Maybe it's my toothpaste. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you. Not bed. I'm going to go get high and sit in the chair and watch TV. But thank you guys. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to those who sent support, channel members, Patreon supporters, and everyone else. It was a good chat. Very low on trolls. In fact, I think no trolls. Good job, guys. Go Jays go. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe on the way out. Hit the bell if you haven't. You're welcome, Marie Palmer. Thank you for tuning in. I should be back Sunday night on the Johnny Stumbles channel for a home stream. I don't know if I'm going to live stream tomorrow. I just don't. But thank you guys. Have a good night, and I will catch you on the next one. Let me turn this off. Turn this on. All right. There's a button here that says end stream. I'm going to click it. Have a good night, guys. Yoink.